Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of M.S.M. Reviews, and today we'll be reviewing Thor, The Dark World. Let me get it started already. When the first Thor movie came out, I loved the Shakespearean acting of, the way they talk, the way Thor talks. It pretty much carries onto this one. And basically, this movie follows right after Avengers. Thor's, has Loki handcuffed, and he's going up to see his father, and then pretty much sentencing him to live out in his jail cell for the rest of his days. And basically, Loki, pretty much tries to make his defense like these people need to bow to us. They're just ants. Or pretty much, Loki at this time is still a little boy. His mind. He's just feels so entitled, pretty much. And we get this scene. He hasn't really been truly a fan of his father, but he is deeply loves his mother. And we have this touching scene of his mother talking to Loki, and she's not actually in the prison, so we get like a little glimpse of like she pretty much taught Loki how to use manipulation spells and shit. So, we get a touchy scene there, and we figure out our main villains of this movie will be dark elves, and basically the dark elves are looking for one of the Infinity Stones, which ends up being transmitted into Thor's girlfriend, and Thor ends up bringing her to his land. So we get a little bit more of what Thor's world looks like. So we actually spent a good time in Thor's realm through the majority of this film. We actually only end up coming back to Earth by the third act, which I was fine with that, because I want to know more about, get a little bit more look around his realm. And basically, dark elves come. We get a little story about the dark elves. They fought Thor's grandpa, and they failed. And the same guy they fought lived through all these centuries and finally decides to come back. And they go and try to get the ether. I think that's what they call it. And basically, they figure out Jane has it inside of her, and they try to get it, or pretty much try to get her. So the land, Thor's kingdom, gets attacked, and we get all this skirmish, and pretty much we see Thor's mother get killed by Malekith, which is the dark elf's name. She gets stabbed, and we see the first time Loki actually has some emotion. Thor goes down there, asks for Loki's help to help him get these guys, and Loki shows his true self and how he was, how his mother's death affected him. So we actually see this little sly turn of Loki, because he killed for his mom. You know, regardless, he loved his mom. So we see Loki and Thor team up to take on Malekith, and they pretty much go and find him, and they already devise a plan to set Malekith up. So it looks like, you know, Loki cuts Thor's hand off and betrays him. Turns out he doesn't. It's a trick, and they almost beat the shit out of him. But Malekith already shook the ether into him, so he has the power in himself. And turns out Loki gets killed. He gets stabbed. And when I first saw this, it actually got me, because I was like, no, 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 because, you know, I liked the actor, I liked Loki, and it was a really touching scene. So Thor ends up chasing down Malekith, and they actually end up on Earth, and they're fighting back and forth, back and forth. And Jane and the professor and her friend have these devices that they can mimic the comic waves or whatever. Like the solar eclipse, or like linking the worlds together at this moment. So they use the device. So Thor throws it, and they set it. So each part of him is getting thrown in different dimensions, pretty much. And finally hits the final one with a little added lightning bolt with its hammer, and sends him to the place they were at earlier. And then his ship falls and gets into the dimension and crushes Malekith. So Malekith is dead. And Thor and Jane, you know, talking, and everything's okay. And then next scene, we see Thor talking to his father at his kingdom, and he says he doesn't want to be king. And his father says, you know, it's funny. I have one who doesn't want to be king, and one who's too proud to be king. Like, he wants to be king, but he just doesn't know how to handle power. And he says, I mean, I'll let you go, you know, pretty much let you, if you want to be with the Earth Woman, you can. You know, you have my blessing, pretty much. And Thor goes, and right before the movie ends, we cut back to his father, and the magic rails off, and it turns out Loki did not die. He survived. So, just to set up the third movie, like, what was his father? So I was happy he survived. And pretty much the end credit in this, it shows Thor showing up to Jane. So that's basically, we do get him going back to Jane. This Thor was good. I'll give it, 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. But, I think, I don't know, it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it. I really did. But it was funny, because when I watched this one, it made me want to watch the first one, and watch the first one, and then watch this one. Like, I don't know why. It just got me in the mood to watch both of them simultaneously at the same time. It's weird. But I really enjoyed this movie. So, if you like what you heard, please feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. And y'all have a good one.